In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the best pieces of advice I've gotten from these self-development books. Most of these principles actually overlap across a number of these texts, which emphasises just how important they are no matter what you're trying to accomplish. One of those fundamental principles is discipline over motivation. This might seem obvious, but many of us mistakenly believe motivation is the key to success. James Clear in Atomic Habits emphasises that we can't always rely on motivation to maintain habits. Sure, on a sunny afternoon you might feel motivated to go for a run, but after a month of daily running, that motivation often vanishes. Thus, it's crucial to build habits rather than depend solely on motivation. Stephen Bartlett in his book Happy Sexy Millionaire makes a similar point about happiness. He argues that happiness is not a fleeting mood. In a similar fashion, motivation is a mood. Sometimes present, sometimes absent. Therefore, it's an unreliable foundation for self-improvement. Another key principle from Bartlett is that quitting is a skill. This challenges the traditional belief that we should never give in and always fight until the end. Let's imagine, for example, that a group of ducks decide to migrate to a new pond. But over time, the pond becomes infested with predators, has fewer food sources, and develops dangerous algae. Now, if the ducks stubbornly refuse to leave or insisting on not quitting, they'll eventually die. The clear choice is to quit this pond and find another. Bartlett argues that quitting should be seen as a strategic decision rather than a sign of weakness. He distinguishes between perseverance and stubbornness. Perseverance means holding your ground in the face of challenges, while stubbornness means pushing on regardless of whether it's still worth it. If your job once made you happy, paid well and suited your life, it makes no sense to stay if all those factors suddenly change. The point is, if something no longer serves you, move on. I really hope you're enjoying this video, and if you are, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe to help me grow the channel. And for everyone who does, I will release one of these ducks into the wild, and for everyone who doesn't, I'll kill 2 of them. Imagine there were 2 classes in creating rubber ducks. The first group was told that they'd be evaluated based on the quality of creating a single duck, produced by the end of the class. But the second group were told that they'd be evaluated based on the number of ducks they produced, regardless of the quality. So which group would you think succeeded? This is actually an analogy of a pottery class experiment originated from a study at Harvard University by Dr. Ellen Langer. At the end of the study, the group focused on making multiple pots, in their case, not ducks, rather than just creating a perfect one, actually showed greater creativity, improved technique, and overall satisfaction with their work. Often, we have it backwards in life, focusing on results and perfectionism instead of the process. Schools condition us to study for months and focus on getting it right in one exam to determine our grade, rather than focusing on the process and trying at it again and again. This experiment highlights the importance of immersing yourself in the process, trusting that the quality will take care of itself. Another key lesson is that enjoyment must always play a part in what we do. We often convince ourselves that the road to success is paved with making ourselves miserable. We have this image of ultra-successful athletes as machines grinding out some terrible process. The runner hitting the pavement at 6 AM in the cold, the tennis player hitting thousands of balls a day against a wall, or the guy making hundreds of rubber ducks every day. While embracing the grind might be true to some extent, top athletes often find ways to make it enjoyable for themselves. James Clear emphasises that a cornerstone of building habits is making them rewarding and enjoyable. If listening to music helps you get through your workout, then do it. Don't see it as cheating because you don't see a top athlete with headphones on while they train. Enjoyment should be part of everything you do. Making yourself miserable for the sake of it doesn't get results. Derek Sivers in the book Tools of Titans by Tim Ferris shares one of my favourite stories from this book. He talks about a cycling route near his house that he does on a regular basis. He pushed himself to complete it as quickly as possible, regularly taking 43 minutes. But due to this intensity, he began to dread it. So one day, he decides to just enjoy the cycle. He doesn't push himself, he just takes in the scenery and he doesn't worry about the time. When he checked his watch at the end of it, it took him 45 minutes. All that previous effort was only saving him 2 minutes. So remember this great quote from the movie Rush. Some of life needs to be for pleasure. What's the point in having a million cups and medals and planes if you don't have any fun? How's that winning?